Welcome to Deep Thought. Humans use only a small part of their brain in a conscious manner. Humans only use a small part of their brain in a conscious manner. Now, I'm going to tell you what, this is something I discussed a few years ago. I can't even remember the specific video or if I even did it on here. And I remember, let me just clear up something before I go further, because I remember I said it, and you know how you always get that smarty aleck? They said, well, we use 100% of our brain. Well, yeah, but how much of it are you conscious of? And that's what I'm talking about. I'm very specific. How much are you truly conscious of? Yes, you use 100% of your brain as a total being, but how many people are conscious of 100% of what they do? How many people are conscious of how their digestive enzymes are specifically breaking down stuff? How many people are specifically conscious of how their hormones are reacting when on a deeper level? How many people are conscious of how their blood is really moving through their body? A lot of it is below our conscious. Yeah, it's there, but it's subconscious. But I'm talking about being conscious, being consciously aware. Like you're aware. You know what's going on. And the reality is, if we talk in terms of consciousness, if a person uses 5% of their, consciously uses 5% of their brain, consciously, and what they have inside of them, that's actually just the average. If you get somebody who uses 20% of their brain, shoot, they superhuman and everything. You know? Seriously. Because that's one of the things. Most people are not conscious of what they're doing. They just going along. Or even, let's be real, most people go through life, they ain't even conscious. They just following the script. They zombies. In some esoteric communities, they would call them sleepers. They're not conscious. That's why that term is popular now, woke. Now, it used to be conscious. Now it's woke and everything. It means a person's aware. But even they're not totally. They have some information, but a lot of them, still not woke. If you're talking about in terms of consciousness, yeah, they got information. But as someone once said, and he said it in blunter terms, I'll be nicer. You can be woke, but still laying in bed. Or if you just sleepwalking through the day, you're still technically woke. Now, this ain't going against the political aspect of it, but I'm just getting into the deeper consciousness of it. And that's just how it is. That's just how it is. And, it's one of the things is people haven't evolved like they used to. In fact, human evolution, let's just say, is not where it should be. Like a person, like ultimate evolution, you could even call it godlike evolution of a human's consciousness means they are 100% conscious of themselves. That means their bodily functions, everything. They can heal themselves, everything. They fully tapped into their DNA. Because one thing that's even some scientists will tell you, there's a lot of our DNA we don't use that's just sitting there chilling, asleep. No telling what type of skills, what type of gifts we got. Or even, let me turn it in another way. Has anyone ever, just got into something? It could have been a skill, like they start cooking something. Or, they can make something, or they discover they can sing, or they discover they can do different things. They can change their body, like what bodybuilders do, natural bodybuilders. They change their body. It was already there in them, but were they conscious of it? What is their awareness? Part of consciousness is having awareness. How much are you aware of? There's using, let me say it in an awareness way. Let me use the analogy of animals. As far as awareness, right? Many people are at a reptile level. Now, some people go to know really what I'm getting into, but I'm not going to get into it specifically. But some people gonna recognize what I'm talking about right away. So some people, they had a reptile level of awareness. The reptile is just concerned about its immediate environment and mating and defending that environment. So that might, somebody with that level of awareness, brain awareness, they just concerned about their environment and what's happening around them immediately. They might not pay, they ain't pay like loose attention to the greater world, and they tend to be individualistic. But then if you take it to another level of consciousness, say it's similar to an insect consciousness, insects in a hive consciousness, they are part of the group. So their awareness is not so much their awareness, but the awareness of the group that they identify with. And then you take it to another level of awareness. That's the type of awareness, the level of consciousness that can see the big picture, that can see everything. If you think a bird, right? Okay, let me go back a second. Okay, you think a reptile. They're aware of their immediate environment. If you take an insect like some ants in a backyard or something, they're aware of that general backyard. They traveling and everything. So it might expand from their point of view to a greater area. But then if you take it to an even larger level, that of the bird, they can fly over and see everything. They can see the reptile, they can see the insects, but they can see even more. They can see several communities, they can see several groups, but they can see the big picture, their awareness, they're aware of what's going on. But then you could take it to an even higher level, because then the awareness extends to the feeling someone might have. Because the awareness is not just the knowledge and seeing, but how you feel, your interaction with others. That's a thing. But, getting to that level, that's, where you can feel what someone else is feeling. That's a totally different thing. And then even beyond that, that's X-Men territory. But here's the thing. We just use it, and it's not any, let me stop. I'm going to have to be honest. You have forces in society that try to keep people at that lower level of consciousness awareness, who try to keep them asleep. Because if someone was truly woke, if you had a critical mass of people on the planet truly woke, a lot of things would be different. And this stuff I still didn't get into. Like some people who seriously study some aspects of brain science and metaphysics, they'll say, "Oh yeah, Rom, you threw out some clues, but you didn't go as deep as you could have went in it." But think about it. A lot of people are sleepwalking. Or Spirit just gave me a way of like presenting this in a way people can understand. How often have we seen somebody and they not living to their full potential? Now, if they were consciously using 100% of their brain, consciously using it, not the subconscious thing, which is running everything regardless of whether you're aware of it or not, but consciously using their brain. If you saw somebody like that, that is a superhuman. That is, they would know. They could solve every problem. They would be rich. They could solve how to find the right mate. They could do everything because they would know themselves. They would know what to do. They would feel other people. So like I said, that's a superhuman. But how often do you see that? Most people, how often have we seen somebody, and you could see what they could potentially do, probably better than they could, but they nowhere near their potential. And sometimes you look at them and say, look, what's wrong? You don't see that? You're not aware of that? And that's actually an issue, too. And that's actually something to get into later. A big issue with people even getting along is people at different levels of consciousness. That's really what it is. Even in relationships. That's a whole other conversation. So, anyway, I want y'all to think on what I'm saying, all right? So it's deep. I could get deeper in it. You almost have to have a whole philosophy of teaching and a lifestyle to really raise people's consciousness, to raise their conscious awareness, where they're using more and more, consciously using more and more of their brain, consciously. Like I said earlier, yeah, 100% humans, their brain uses 100%, but are you conscious of it? You know? And if you are, okay, well, when you get cut, make it heal. Regrow a limb. Change your body. Boom. So anyway, I want y'all to think on this, all right? And I'll talk to y'all.